in the blessed name of Alexander Crummell, patron saint for the Union of Black Episcopalians. On September the 10th, and again on Sunday, September the 13th, UBE Sunday, we will observe and celebrate Father Crummell's feast day. We will recognize the vast contributions that he made by pushing beyond racial barriers to build institutions that not only would benefit Black people, but that also would have lasting impact upon the Episcopal Church and Black Episcopalians today. Born in New York City in 1819, the Reverend Alexander Crummell was a priest, a missionary, an educator, a scholar, and is a saint in this Episcopal Church. But his journey was not an easy one. As a young man, Crummell was driven out of an academy in New Hampshire, dismissed as a candidate for holy orders in New York, and denied admission to General Seminary because of his race. He was eventually ordained in 1844 in the Diocese of Massachusetts, but left the country after being excluded from diocesan convention. He studied in England and then did missionary work in Liberia for 20 years before returning to the United States, only to find that race matters in the church and the society had not improved significantly for Blacks. Crummell became an outspoken advocate for the abolition of slavery and the removal of legal restrictions on Black Americans. He dreamed of a church that would transcend the racism and the limited vision of its leaders and embrace and celebrate the goodness and greatness of Black people. He fought tirelessly to build institutions that would provide scope for Black people to exercise their gifts in leadership and creativity. The Union of Black Episcopalians is the outgrowth of the Convocation of Colored Clergy, one of the groups Crummell formed in 1883 to defeat a plan called the Swanee Plan that would have resulted in the effective disenfranchisement of Black Episcopalians. Without the work, resilience, and perseverance of the Reverend Alexander Crummell, there might not have been any Union of Black Episcopalians or any of its precursor organizations. Why should this matter to Episcopalians everywhere? The Union of Black Episcopalians is the only independent membership advocacy organization in the Episcopal Church that for the past 52 years has fought to eliminate racism within the church and in society. For the past 52 years, UBE has been promoting the full inclusion of Blacks at every level of church governance. For 52 years, we have been collaborating with others to put before general and diocesan conventions legislation naming barriers to equality and urging action to overcome the sins of racism, exclusion, and oppression. UBE has refused to allow the church to settle for less than God's beloved community. We have been and continue to be the place where brown and Black people and others dedicated to racial justice and equality for all have come together to find welcoming community, connection, empowerment, training, purpose, and the inspiration to continue in the work Crummell began. Now, how can you help further and bring to fruition Father Crummell's vision? Mark the feast day of Alexander Crummell on September the 10th by going to the UBE website at www.ube.org and making a donation to the work of the Union. Many are now looking for ways to support the racial justice and Black Lives Matter movements that are erupting around the world. Look no further. Give generously to UBE. On Sunday, September the 13th, celebrate UBE Sunday in your congregation. Share the story of Alexander Crummell and the work of the Union. Contact the UBE headquarters located at Virginia Theological Seminary and ask how you can go about establishing a local or diocesan chapter of UBE. Help ensure that the work of the Union in its fight for racial justice and equality has local and diocesan impact as well as national church impact. And if you have not done so already, join UBE today. There is a place for everyone in the Union's work. Beloved, we face a wearisome, devastating pandemic. Time and time again, we witness the egregious and unjust murder of Black and brown bodies by the police. We hear the reverberating cries of Black Lives Matter in a society where some still argue that systemic racism does not exist. Thanks be to God for inspiring examples of Black leaders like the Reverend Alexander Crummell, who remind us that the fruit of God's beloved community does not grow overnight, nor come about trouble-free. I am the Very Reverend Kim L. Coleman, National President of the Union of Black Episcopalians, and I urge you, be steadfast, immovable, always excelling in the work of the Lord, for we know in the Lord our labor will not be in vain. Thank you for your support.